Adulthood really isn't what any of us expected it to be. The adjustment period from when you're a child, adolescent, teenager to a fully grown adult that's got everything figured out and has complete order in their life, that adjustment period lasts forever. So I've spoken with people that are in their early 20s, I've spoken with people that are in their late 80s, and what I come to find out is that no one really has it all figured out. People are constantly being challenged, people are constantly being thrown off balance, and we're constantly in a state of adjustment, but no one's ever really adjusted to adulthood. Over the past few months and past year really, I've had quite a few conversations with people who are in a challenging predicament, whether it's just in their personal life, with their family, their livelihood, their businesses. And a common topic I've come across in all these conversations is just the surprising nature of how we are so capable of finding order through all this chaos. Like, there's so much stuff that we have to deal with as adults. Like, for one thing, you're either going through some sort of mental or physical challenge, either now or at some point in the near future, whether we're talking about, the depressions and anxiety and worries and strain and stress, or the physical challenges like having a bad knee, a bad back, trying to get it back to where you hope it will eventually be and recover. Or some of the more severe things like heart attacks and strokes and cancer and these medical conditions that completely flip our life upside down. And then we're not really prepared for it. Then you have things like wanting to find a partner, find love, find companionship long term. We have the challenges of trying to find a career, not only to make money, but to be fulfilled, to feel like we're being challenged and we're growing and we're able to contribute and give back to society and have our place in this community and in our society. Then you have the challenges that we maybe are not always keenly aware of, but we're going through every day. I'm talking about like the self-discovery challenges, the getting to know yourself, understanding your tendencies, figuring out where your emotions come from and what's stimulating it and what past events, maybe trauma we have to get over. These things are all very complicated and we deal with this on an everyday basis. For the past 10 years or so, I'm 30 now, one of my big beefs with life is how as human beings, our prime comes in the first 1/3 of our life, and then we spend the next 2/3 of our life trying to maintain that prime as best as possible and not allow our body to break down and our muscles strain, our joints disintegrate. And then you have the existential challenges of adulthood that I think more people face than they're willing to let on. The challenges of wondering where our place is and in what direction we're supposed to go to. And we only have limited time, so we can't really explore all our options. So we have to pick one and go for it, all while trying to maintain our own livelihood and level of certainty by paying our bills, paying taxes, finding a way to eat, socializing, and fulfilling that part of our life. And when I'm having these conversations with people that are finding themselves in challenging periods, I really try to let them know, and I want to let you know, that life is inherently chaotic. Life is inherently violent. And I don't mean violent like physically violent and harm, which it could be. What I'm talking about is the fact that order is not the baseline. Chaos is baseline. Everything starts with chaos, and then order grows out of that. When you're a baby, you don't come out speaking a fluent language and walking with an upright posture. You come out kicking and screaming and being noisy and flailing all over the place, peeing all over it's chaotic. And then order comes from that. Society started out chaotic, and then as time goes on and measures get into place and we start to understand ourselves as an individual or society, order comes from that. So when I'm having these conversations, I let people know, you should be proud that you're able to get up every day, or maybe, you try to get up every day. You go to work, you put on a smile, you make friends, you're able to have some resemblance of order in your life with all this stuff going on. And it's not just our personal challenges. Even if everything's great in our life, we experience mental anguish because we have parents, family members, loved ones, friends that are going through challenges with their health, challenges with their livelihood and their jobs and their struggles, and that affects us. That causes a real mental anguish and stress on us. Life hits fast and life hits hard. I remember my first experience as a child. I was 7 years old and realizing how real life could really get. My grandmother passed away when I was 7, and at that point in my life, she was the love of my life. I would see her every weekend. She was the only adult I really got to have real leisure time with on a prolonged basis. She died when I was 7, and at that point I was like, you want to put life on pause. You're like, hold on. Like, this is getting too real. I'm only 7 years old. Life, calm down, relax. You're right. It's a lot to deal with. But even at a young age, you realize, okay, something's going to go on that is going to completely shake your world. Your experience of reality, your experience of this life can be flipped upside down at any moment. The fact that we kind of are able to experience and acknowledge all that and keep it on our peripheral and still be focused on moving forward, it's commendable. And I think you should be proud that no matter what you went through, all the problems and challenges you've had in your life, all the obstacles you ran into, you somehow figured out a way to overcome it and come out on the other side. And I know that because you're watching this video right now. And if you didn't make it out the other side, if you didn't overcome that, you wouldn't be here. One of the realizations I've had, and I try to share with people that find themselves in challenging positions dealing with this, thing called adulthood, is that a lot of times we get so much stress and uncertainty and challenge through trying to live up to a priority we've held for ourselves because we're convinced that we should hold that thing as a priority. For example, I know people that put themselves through absolute torture trying to build a business and be a business owner. Not because they really love being a business owner, but they've been led to believe that business owner means freedom and employee means like bad. And it's just not the case. Some people, I want to just tell them, hey, look, you can get educated in whatever way, formal or self-educated, find a great company, work for that great company, get paid well, and receive a tremendous amount of value in the form of learning and education from the experience of people who are doing that thing. And you can find comfort and satisfaction in that thing. You don't have to be a business owner. But people put themselves through tremendous amounts of debts and loans and sacrifices just to try to be a business owner and have that label, just to find out that it really doesn't mean as much as they thought it was going to mean. Or people that think they have to be a millionaire, or they have to make multiple 6 figures because that's when freedom comes. No, that's not where happiness comes from. And a lot of time, those pursuits, through a lack of self-awareness of what you really want and what's really a priority for you, lead to further chaos. They add further stress onto our lives. I try to imagine it like as if there's this kind of like force that's constantly being pressed on you. And the stronger you get to be able to push that force and that pressure back, the more comfortable and satisfied and fulfilled and happy you are in your experience of life. When you're going through challenging times, it's because it's getting a little bit too close, right? You start hyperventilating, and you got anxiety because of how small that space is. And I think one of the biggest things we can do to overcome that is appreciate how strong we are and how far we've come to deal with this adulthood in the way that we have, given all these unexpected surprises and obstacles. But then also to become more familiar with what the self-awareness of understanding what we actually want out of life, and not giving in to societal pressures and expectations about what you should have, or even parental expectations of what you should have, what you should do, and understanding that it's your life. You have to be happy and fulfilled with what you're doing, and understanding what it is that you want, what it is you don't want. Sometimes that means getting rid of certain people in your life, changing your pursuits, changing your perspective on what's important and what's not, and being able to push that pressure out more and more, because the pressure doesn't get easier. Like, the pressure doesn't change, you get lighter, you just get stronger. You just develop the ability to be able to push that thing out more and more. So just know that everyone has that pressure. Everybody. The people that you look at and you think that they have everything figured out because they have the house and they have the job and they have the relationships and it looks beautiful from the outside, just know that they're in their own little bubble trying to push against that barrier. And they have challenges that you'll never know about. Everybody's going through it. No one has it figured out. Not your parents, not your college professor, not that celebrity on TV that you think that has it all, not the employer that's evaluating you on your education and your experiences. Nobody's got it figured all out. Everyone's dealing with challenges, and you should be proud and happy for how far you've come, despite all those challenges, despite all those obstacles, despite all those surprises from our misunderstanding about what life truly was. As a child and as an adolescent, there's no way, as a teenager, there's no way for us to prepare for adulthood. And just remember that you never will be completely prepared. We're constantly adjusting, but we're never adjusted.